Right. All good?
Yep. Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Can you see that? Yep. You can all see that. Yeah. We're all good. We're recording. Right. So, for part 3, I thought we would stay in the library module. I know you're all begging to get off to the development module, but here's a little quote. It's a quote from Zacharias, a very skilled portrait photographer. And that was his view of Lightroom, and that you've got this library module, and you really didn't think you should be spending all your time sorting out your images and everything like that. My sort of counter viewpoint of that is really, if you've paid for Lightroom and you're not using it to organise your images, then you really are wasting your money. Because it's let's see if I because it's basically the only thing Lightroom gives you that it does well. If you use you can use Photoshop to do the editing. You've got exactly the same editing in Photoshop as you have in Lightroom, so why even bother? Oh, Stan's coming in. Why even bother with Lightroom if you're not actually going to use it to organise your images? It's kind of a waste of time. So, with that, let's have a look at using colours to organise your images. It says flipping off to Lightroom. Okay. All right, so we've all got the grid. So last week we looked at using your images live in folders on the disk, but we can also find other ways of organising them by giving them, say, a star rating of 3 to 5 or 1 or 6. We can also use it's really annoying, the screen sharing thing. The screen sharing thing's right across the middle of my screen, so I can't move it somewhere. I don't see how you can. There's no way to fold it down, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, you can filter by an attribute. So you've got these pics, so you can just show your pics and stuff like that. One other thing you can do is use colours to organise that. And I would say that colours probably are best used for showing where you are in your workflow. So, for instance, I've got a few pictures down here. At the moment, I haven't processed any of them, haven't done anything like that. So I can set a colour label, and I might set that as being ready to print.
So was that a right click on the actual image, Chris?
Right click on the image and then pick a colour label, yeah? But what I've said there is that the colours mean something, and they mean my things. And if we go up to colour label set, what you have is these are ways of defining what your colours mean. So let's go back to Lightroom default, how you would have got it in Lightroom. So red means red, yellow means green, blue means purple, purple means purple. Not hugely informative, but you might want to think that all my red ones are dangerous pictures that I should never share with anybody. But instead, what you could do is go up to metadata, color label set, and pick, say, review status. And then when you set the color label, you can mark it as these ones need color correction, these ones are okay, retouching these. Finally, these ones are the ones to print. And all you're doing,
Chris, or have you defined that set?
that set is a default set that comes in Lightroom. Yeah. My set is called Mine. Right? That's the one I've got. But there are, yeah, so I set another set for a different catalogue. And the default ones are just like that. There's also the ones, so if you use, like, if you're used to organising stuff in Bridge from Adobe, you might want to just keep using Bridge default. And that gives you select second approve review to do. Now, the important thing to realise with these is that all they are is labels for the colours. So your pictures, if you label them red and you're using Bridge default, right, and red means select, if you then change it to a different colour label set of, say, Lightroom default, where red means, oh, actually, no, let's pick a different one, of review status, where red means to delete. All that is just that text is just giving you an explanation for what red means. You're actually flagging the picture as red. Yeah. So that text doesn't make much difference. It's just a note for you for what the colours mean. Because after a while you forget that red means. So in my my set, because of the way I work, red means it's an HDR set. All your flagging stuff is as red, and the colour label, these colour sets just allow you to put your own explanation for what red means. It's the equivalent of writing on a bit of paper, red means HDR and whatever. You can edit these. So we take mine, for instance, we edit it here. And you'll see that I've said that red is equal to this bit of text. HDR result is that, and so forth. And if you pick that one, they've done in a different way. And that's all it is. It's just assigning the text to the colour, but the colours stay on the thing. So which one is my one? My one is that one. We use that. So you can change what the colours mean and use it as a way of doing it, but the colours would always stay the same. So if I make that an HDR set, mark it as red, and then show the reds, it gets a red background. And at the moment, red means HDR set, but it could mean anything I choose to make it set. So that's colours for you. That makes sense to everybody? Did I make that more complicated than it needed to be? Anybody?
It makes sense, but my Lightroom's a bit different to yours, so I'd have to find things. I haven't got metadata.
You really?
Yeah, I've got photo, and then it goes to settings, and then tools. So I've probably got a newer version than you.
No, this is the latest version.
Ah.
Are you Lightroom Classic?
Joe,
Are you Lightroom Classic or Lightroom CC?
Oh, this is CC, and I've only just got it as well.
Oh, yeah, Lightroom CC, that's the cloud version.
No, this isn't the cloud version.
Yeah, it is.
You got Lightroom Classic.
Mine says at the top, Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic.
Yeah, this is classic.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Joe.
No, hold on. It's because I was in develop.
Ah, right.
Ignore that. Okay, as you were.
Okay. Well, that's half the fun, finding out these things. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about colours, in that they are a way of doing it. The consensus seems to be is that they're a way of marking where you are in your workflow rather than choosing your picks and your best ofs and stuff like that. So that's what colours would best be used for, is just to say this is where we are. So collections. So I don't want to spend a huge amount of time on collections because I did a thing for the club a few weeks back about this. But if I sort of show you how I would use collections. So over on the left-hand side, we have a thing called a quick collection, which has a plus in it. And at the moment, we have 3 images in it. And all these is just any of the available images. They're there, and I've picked them. And I might say, so say I'm sorting through this, and I'm doing a club competition entry, and it's trees. Trees is the subject. And I'm looking through my vast collection of trees. I'm looking for stuff with trees on it. Oh, look, there's a tree. Oh, I like that one. And I just drag it to my quick collection. And I build up this quick collection of stuff. And say we're allowing, I don't know, 6 entries. And these are the 6 I decide. And see there's 6 there by that number there. Actually, let me just, yeah, so that's that collection. If I look inside that collection, I've got the 6 I've put there. But hang on a sec. This isn't a tree last time I looked. So I can remove it from the quick collection. And again there.
Can I make a quick question?
Yeah.
Mine is an older version, and it hasn't got quick collections, but it's got smart collections. Is that
no? Up above that, right at the top, we're at the catalogue. There's one quick collection. There is only ever one quick collection, and it's at the top in the catalogue box. So scroll right up, navigator, then catalogue.
Yep, yeah. I found it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We'll talk about smart collections in a minute. We'll preview. So look, that one we did last week. That one's a beauty, isn't it? We'll put that in. And the other way, so I'm dragging them into the quick collection, or I can just right mouse click and say add to quick collection.
There's also a dot in the top right hand corner of the image as well. You can push on.
Yeah, I don't think that's a default though, because I don't think that's appeared.
Oh, is that in one of the settings for the banners?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it's definitely not there. I keep looking for it and it's not there.
It's
the other way, Chris, if you don't mind me interrupting.
Yeah, no, cool.
In the toolbar, you got the spray can.
Ah, yeah. Does anybody actually do that?
I've done it occasionally. But,
I'll show you what Jeff is talking about. So, I don't even remember how you do it.
Click it.
Yeah.
And then you say
a
target collection at the bottom.
Right, okay. And we'd say we're going to paint the quick collection on there, and then what we do is we say paint that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Yeah, it's crap. it's the least intuitive thing I've ever come across, to be honest. So we got this quick collection of images. We process them, we do all our wonderful stuff, we're really happy with them, we give them to everybody, they think it's amazing, we win all our points, and that's it. Now at this point we could just clear the collection, do right mouse click and clear the collection. And that will just wipe it out, and there's no record of that grouping anymore. When we say clear the collection, all we're doing is we're just taking them out of that bucket. We're not deleting the images or anything like that. We're just moving them out of this bucket that we've put in there to sort them. But what we could do, we save this collection as tree competition. And that one, saving it, moves it and clears it. And where does it go? Well, it goes into our collection of collections down here. And there it is. So as Paul said, he's got smart collections. We'll come back to smart collections. But we also have these collections. Now, collections are just a way of grouping images. So what would you use collections for? Well, you've seen one example there where I use it for recording everything I've put into competitions, submitted to a magazine, sent off for an external competition, anything like that. Chuck them in a collection, and Bob's your auntie. Other things you could use it for are, say, events. So I have holidays, and each of my holidays will be underneath that. And you could also use it for, say, weddings. So, you know, Brian and Joan's wedding, Susie's wedding, whatever. You could have whatever the events are in your life, and whatever you want to organise it that way. The thing with all this is that when you organise stuff, you kind of works the wrong way around, because you have to organise it in a way for what you want to get out, but you don't know what you want to get out yet. So kind of doing it this way, like as you create a collection for a competition or something like that, will help you, because at a later date you can't think, oh yeah, it was a picture I put, I'm sure I put it into competition, let's have a look at the competition pictures. Or if you've grouped all your holiday photos from, you know, it was definitely in that holiday to Blackpool. All right, well, there's all the pictures for Blackpool, let's sort through that, and you might sort through 300 pictures rather than 20,000 or whatever. So it's kind of, that's what it gives you. So these are collections, and here's a collection there. We're just saving that grouping. Collections live either at this top level. So if we create another collection, create collection, what we're going to call it. Actually, the easiest way to create a collection. So if we want a collection of Fox pictures, click on the first one, shift and click on the last one, then create a collection on that little plus symbol over there. Create collection, and let's call it Foxes. And this option here, include selected photos, just says, because I've already selected that lot, it'll put them all in there for me. And the other thing is where it says set as target collection, we could do, you know, like I was just putting stuff in the quick collection. The reason I could just put that in the quick collection because it was set as my target collection. And you've got right, and all that gives you is a right mouse click and send to this collection. So I won't do that, and I will just say include selected photos. Create that. And we now got 48 pictures in my Foxes collection. So there's my Foxes collection, there's my tree competition. Let's pick one more. I don't know, let's create another collection. And let's call this landscape. So we've got our collections here. And And you can imagine after a while, if you start getting really organised, you're going to end up with loads of different collections, and it's going to get, well, there'll be an alphabetical order, but still it's going to be quite a lot to find. You can filter them. So if we start looking for land, it just filters them that way. So you could find them that way. Or if you want to be more organised, what you could do is you could create what they call a collection set. And all a collection set is effectively a suitcase to put your collections in. So if we call this one competitions, then I can take the tree competition and move it inside the competitions folder. Yeah, I might create another one, which is other stuff. But you go with it, and you select those two, and drag them into other stuff. So that's what that gives you. And you.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, go.
Just going back a bit.
Yep.
How did you start off by bringing those images into that collection?
Right.
I got how you named the collection, but how did you get the images in there, please?
Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. What I did was if I select this lot, so click on the first one, shift click on the last one. When I create a collection by using the new collection here, this includes selected photos. Yeah, so because I've selected those photos, they will now go into my.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I create that, and then they go. And there go 66 images in there.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody okay with collections? Anybody got any questions? That's kind of pretty much all I wanted to do on collections.
Just one quick question, Chris. If
Yep.
you plug it into where its place folder is and altered that image in that, would it change the image in the collection?
Yes. At the moment.
And vice versa.
Eh?
And vice versa.
Yeah. So the image at the moment, we'll keep it simple for the moment. This picture here only exists in one place.
Yep.
Yeah, it will only ever exist in one place. All we are doing is logically grouping it. Yeah, so at the moment, actually there was a poor example because I've only put that in the Epping Forest, but that might also be valid for the tree competition. Yeah, it can be in two places. Yeah,
Right.
so you'll find, you know, if you did it for all your club competitions, you might have the same image in 3 or 4 places, and it might also be under holidays and stuff like that. And that's the advantage of collections over just on the left-hand side using your folders as an organisation method, because your image can only be in one folder, can only be in one physical place on the disk, whereas here it can be in multiple collections. Yeah, and that allows you to classify stuff, allows you to classify competitions as opposed to wildlife and stuff like that. Everybody happy? Please ask if you don't know, because I rely on you guys. Yeah, so so just to recap what I just told you about collections, the actual collections live in things called collection sets, which are pretty dumb and are effectively just suitcases that hold other collections. You can't put images inside collection sets, you can only put collections in, and then put images inside the collections. And you can use them for grouping your images. I'll give you a couple of examples there. On my home, on my real catalogue, it's holidays, events, competition entries, collections of stuff that are going to go on my website, things like that. So that's kind of how that works. Now, on to smart collections. Smart collections, I think, are one of the worst named things ever in Lightroom, because they say they're like a collection that's smart. But I think if you want to understand them and what they do, they are effectively just a saved search. And let me show you how this works. So if we're searching for images using this bar at the top, we might want all our picked images. So let's try that again. Attribute, all our picked images, any color label, and yeah, that'll do. Is that all the picks we've got? We're not got any more picks. Let's do. Must have had a good cull. Let's make that a pick. That one's got to be a pick. It's so beautiful. And that one is a pick. So if I go back to attributes and say I want all the ones that are picked. And now I've looked at these and I've also said this one and this one are worth 5 stars. So I've rated those, given them a 5, just to give us something like that. And so now I've gone through my picks and I want to limit my picks to just all my 5-star images. That's great. It's a great way of filtering my stuff. Trouble is, 10 minutes later, the phone rings. I come back here and I think, now what was I doing? Now let's have a look at here. Oh, I'd sorted out all my 5-star images. Oh, how did I do it? Okay, up here, go attribute. Right, okay, I want all my picks. Oh no, I'm not in the right folder. Yeah, right, okay, now attributes, all my picks are greater than 5 stars. Right, okay, I found it. And every time you'd have to recreate that search, yeah, this search by attribute. What a smart collection does, is allow you to effectively save that search you've just created. So if I right mouse click here and do create smart collection, this is where it gets a bit geeky, programming. But if I say I want all the ones where the pick flag is flagged, which is exactly the same thing we did up the top here, only what I do is I call that collection picks. Right, and then go back here. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, I can go and look at the smart collection called picks. Yeah, and that will work. So if I now go here and make that one a pick, this collection is automatically updated. That's why they call it a smart collection. Yeah, I'll show you the difference. So if I tried to do this manually, let's create a comment. So all the picks. So again, I've created all the picks, and this time I've created a standard collection. Done collection. Oh, didn't select them all, hang on a sec. If I put them in there, I'll put all of them in there, it's going to make it a lot easier. So you see I've got 8 picks in my done collection, and in my smart collection of picks, I've also got 8. So they're the same 8. So you would think that they are the same thing, but they're not. Because to populate this, I have to choose what images I want to go in there. To populate this, it will automatically update by the search. So if I go back here, and I make that one a pick. See, it's gone up to 9 in the smart collection, but the done collection hasn't updated, because the only time the done collection updates is when I put the images in. Yeah. So effectively, what this smart collection is a saved search. Yeah. That's why I think they're badly named. Yeah. Because we might want. So actually, yeah, look, they've already given us a smart collection here of 5 stars. That's all the ones that have been marked with 5 stars. And then there's another collection that's been done, everything done in the past month. And if we edit that collection, they've said that capture date is in the last 1 month. So that's how you can build it. So what you could do, for instance, you might want to say capture date in the night and is greater than, and that will give you all the 5-star images that you did last month. Yeah. Or a thing that I quite often do. So, you know, we're talking about colours, and I might say these ones I'm going to mark as colour correction needed. Yeah. If I now create a smart collection, I think I forgot what colour that is. Is it a yellow? No, is that green, I think?
Yeah, the yellow looks like green. I think
Yeah, I think it's green. No, obviously not green. Let's try yellow. There you go. That's a yellow, apparently.
Yeah, you really. Obviously, they didn't get the colour correcting course.
Yeah, not convinced that. But you see how that works. So as I go through, I might, as I'm reviewing the images, I might say, oh, that one's nice, but it needs colour correction. Yeah. And then later on, I think, right, what am I going to do? Right, first of all, I need to go through all my ones that need colour correction. Right, they're all here. Yeah, so it's effectively a saved filter, allows you to, and you can get really quite sophisticated with this. You can, I do mine. I have ones without keywords, so that I know what needs keywording. I have ones without picture that are marked as without pictures of my dog, because every picture of my dog I keyword. And so I can just scan through and think, oh, there's my dog, that needs to be keyworded. So that's what smart collections give you. Everybody happy with smart collections? Have I lost anybody?
No, but can I just, that works over the whole catalogue. So if you've got a very large catalogue, those smart collections can be quite large. If you're just working on picked or 5 stars or colour.
Yeah, so you can limit it. Yeah, so as you say, it's just got, it's literally, across the whole catalogue. So that's all your yellows wherever you are. You can say, and source folder contains May. And you just get all the stuff for May. So you could limit it that way if you wanted to. But generally speaking, what you do is you mark all your ones for, say, colour correction. Let that set show you what needs doing, and then you unflag them as being needing that colour. Everybody okay? Please speak up. I lost you because I'm happy to explain it again.
Yeah, I got a little bit lost there, but I can see how useful it is now.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit, definitely.
Yeah. So it's basically just a safe search. So if you find yourself as part of your workflow looking for the same images, so all your pics, all your 5 stars, all your ones that you've marked need work, all the ones that you've marked as needing printing, or whatever you've marked your images as, you can save that as a search and come back to it whenever you like.
Right. And does this, I'm assuming anyway, this means when you come out of Lightroom, it says, do you want to save your something there? I assume you've always got to say yes to that. Is that right?
When you come out of Lightroom, it says, do you want to save what?
It's probably, do you want to optimize catalog?
Or backup?
Back up the catalogue I always get.
Yeah, say yes.
Yeah, I think it is back up the catalogue, and I'm assuming that's what it does. It makes all the changes that you've just done.
No. What it does, every change you make happens instantly, right?
Okay.
What it does is just take a second copy in case you screw things up.
Right.
Your catalogue gets corrupted.
Yes.
It will keep however many versions of that and stuff like that. Alan, do you want me to answer your question?
Yeah. I didn't know which way whether to say it to all or do it separate. So obviously, I'm saying about images right at the beginning, marking them red if you're not allowed to share them. So obviously, I have some of those, but work ones. Is it best to create like that smart collection so I know that everything I've taken for work that's of that restricted nature, I can just pick out of that collection? Or is it better to do a separate catalogue for it?
You download them at the same time. Would they be on the same card?
I tend to download and then clear the cards.
So you'd have your work. You could keep them separate. But really, your probably best bet, is to do something like flag all your work images with a colour or a keyword or something like that, just to make sure. Colour, I would go probably in your case with the colour red.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can mark them instantly, these ones, don't put in the competition. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless you don't like the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's smart collections. I'll say. Right. Keywords. Keywords are, I don't know, really, they're a kind of a black art. This is back to this librarian, not a photographer, not a librarian thing. Let's just move people over that side. Keyword lives on this side. Now, we're back to this idea of if you want to find something out, or if you want to search something, you need to know what it is you're going to search for. Now, what you search for depends on you, what interests you, whatever's going to come back to haunt you, stuff like that. So if you were a wedding photographer, you may just use collections and put each wedding in a separate collection and not worry about it. If you were a wildlife photographer, you might put, you might start keywording each individual animal type and say, these 58 pictures are of an otter or something like that. And it depends on how you are going to want to get it out. And you can only use your own experience for that. So in my case, the things that I keyword are the place where something was, because I can usually remember having taken a shot somewhere, if it was in the Lake District or in Epping Forest or stuff like that. Any people that are in the shot, and any dogs that are in the shot. That's pretty much it. There's the three sets of keyword in I use. Now you can have an elaborate keyword structure. People will break things down and they might have 50, 60 keywords, maybe more on a particular picture, which is fine if you are selling them as stock images, but for the rest of us, it's kind of overkill. So how do we keyword? So let's find the keyword. Right, talking of wildlife photographers. Here we go, here's our fox. And this was taken, so we've got the sort of subject there. We might want to say, I can't remember how you separate these. If it's comma, is it?
Comma space.
Yeah, it depends on how each system's different.
Well, it depends if you set it up in preferences or not, but there you go.
All right, is it? All right.
Comma is the preferred one.
So that's a fox on the school playground, taken from my back garden. And that's kind of the most keywording I would do for any images. Probably 3-4 things. Not huge amounts of stuff, but I can get more information by building keyword lists. So this is the keyword list here. So these are all the ones I've used. There's not many here, but let's create a hierarchy. So I might say places. So, don't worry about these keyword tags or options. We can go into them some other time, but I don't think anybody really cares about them. So we can create a thing called places, and then inside places we can add another keyword tag of I don't know, Essex, and we move that one inside places, and inside Essex we might move Epping Forest, but also we might create a keyword tag inside that of
Woodland.
Actually, I was going to do mountain like that. So that's this mountain, and then my back garden lives inside Loughton. So the nice thing is now, what I should be able to do, if I do a text search now, at the top here, and I search for back garden, I get all the images that were taken in my back garden, as you would expect. But also, in theory, if I do a search for images taken in Essex, I get all these others. I never put Essex, I never typed Essex against any of those images, yeah? But what I did tell them was that the back garden lives in Loughton, Loughton lives in Essex, and so I got all that information for free. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying I only use, say, I've only keyworded that with back garden. The keyword list gives me Loughton and Essex for free. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yes, it's something I've not ever done. It's hierarchy. I've just got a huge list of keywords.
So I've got a big set of places, all the counties. So I'll have Cumbria, Lake District, Windermere, then the very place, and all the way down. And like my Epping Forest has got just a big, huge stack of stuff in it. And I'll just, when I'm keywording, just put the one thing that I've got at the base level and get all the rest for free. Anybody confused by that? Yes.
No, again, very. Could you just show me how you started that filter? So
this filter up here.
No, that filter the keywords again, please.
Oh right, it's not filtered. It's not filtered. But okay, so let's do it for another one. So let's start again. Let's give you. So what I can do is, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen again. These pictures are all very samey, which is not helpful. Okay, so
just to help you, Chris, at the moment, my filtered keywords is blank or is greyed out.
That section there, yes, because you haven't added any keywords. Yeah? You got anything underneath it in this area here?
Sorry, I have got images that have keywords on it,
Yeah.
but it's this hierarchy. So just assuming I want travel, and then under that the various countries,
Right.
and then under that, I don't know, you know, with whoever it was with.
Well, no, I wouldn't do it that way. What I would do is, so say you want to record all your holidays with whichever girlfriend you went with. So we might create a new keyword tag called travel.
Right, and to do that, all you did is click that little circle, was it?
Little plus, the little plus symbol. Yeah, at the top of keyword list. Did you see that? Got it?
Sorry, I'm temporarily muted. So, yep, got that.
Yeah, okay. So if we create that, and so the keyword name is going to be travel.
Yep.
That's our top level one. We'll create another one, this time inside travel down here, and we'll say Australia.
Yeah.
That now lives under travel Australia. And we'll create another one underneath that. Sydney. Which I probably have spelled wrong. No, I think I might have. So we've got this hierarchy now. So if I now flag that picture there and say that's not Epping Forest, that's actually Sydney. It will show as not only being in Sydney, but also being in Australia and also being in travel. Yeah?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
So what you can do is, if you're in Jeff's situation, which was like you've got a flat list of keywords, if you start building a hierarchy by saying, I don't know, foxes are actually, I don't know, that's a bit meaningless, let's try and create another, animals. So I want to group all my animals together. And then put foxes inside animals. And then add another one for giraffes. As I sort that keyword out, the keywords get added to the search criteria. Yeah, so if I do a search for, so if I mark that one, and that one, if I click this checkbox next to giraffes, that gives them the keyword giraffes. They're all marked as the legendary Epping Forest giraffes. Now, when I do a search, and I search for things with animals in, I not only get my foxes, but I also get these three because I've marked them as having a giraffe in them, even if I've searched for animals.
Right.
Clever?
That's brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's sort of that hierarchy. So I'm saying that when I say, if you build up your hierarchy or take whatever keywords you've already put on and sort them into a hierarchy, then you can do, searching for stuff. So, if you just keyworded a load of stuff that was, lions, tigers, gazelle, if you put them all in wildlife, next time there's a wildlife competition, you just can search for wildlife and you'll get all of them. Yeah, so you get these groupings. You can buy keyword libraries to sort it out into a hierarchy for you, but that is well into the librarian, not a tool.
Yes.
that was kind of it I wanted to show you today. And that's pretty much it for the library module. Does that make sense to everybody? Is there any questions?
That was really helpful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll just say, Chris, another option for searching, in the keyword list, on the right-hand side, there's a little arrow. If you click that, it'll show you all the images with that keyword.
Yeah, it really was help if you use the right computer. So if you see this, what Jeff's saying is this little arrow here, if I do that, click on that, that shows me all the images for Essex. And effectively, you can see up the top of the screen here that it's doing a keyword search for everything in Essex. And then if I wanted to do a keyword search for everything in Epping Forest, again, that would reduce it down, or everything in Loughton, and reduce it again.
I find sometimes just see the keyword triggers a memory and think, oh yeah, I want to see those images. That's, you know,
Yeah.
If I get to 100,000 moment, you know, it's.
And don't feel you need to keyword everything straight away, because A, that's incredibly dull. But there are two ways of doing it. One is that if you, I don't know, you're bored, you're in lockdown, you've got nothing else to do, then you could go through and sort them out. I actually did 20,000 images when I had pneumonia for 2 weeks. Failing that, the other way to do it is to just to work out when you search for stuff. So say I don't know, say we have a competition. Now, actually, say somebody says, "Oh, have you got a picture of Uncle Barry?" And you have to go through your catalogue manually and find all the pictures of Uncle Barry. Well, while you are doing that, why not keyword them as well? Because next time somebody asks for a picture of Uncle Barry, you can get it really quick. Yeah, because you know that is the sort of search that you will do on your database. Yeah. So, you know, you've already logged this information that this is the way I want to search. These are the things I need to record. Yeah. So why not just take that little extra effort and keyword them, and say, and even while you find all the pictures of Uncle Barry, you might find that he's often with Auntie Susie. So let's keyword Auntie Susie as well at the same time in case somebody asks for those pictures as well. Rather than sit down with your 40, 50,000 images and try and keyword them all and guess what it is, the sort of things you ask for. Like I say, I worked out that the only things that I ever need to search for are places, people, and dogs. Literally the only things I ever need to find. So that's all my keywording is. Everybody okay?
Simple.
Anybody mystified? If you get stuck, you can always drop me a line and I can always see if I can make more sense of it and redo another video or something for you if you get stuck. But have a play with, so collections for grouping stuff, keywords for marking stuff, and these filters up the top will allow you to just organize your images. And this is worth taking the time to understand because this is what you're paying for Lightroom for. Yeah. You know, or you've gone to the trouble of getting a knockoff copy. But at least, you know, this is why you're using Lightroom. This library functions are the bits that really will make a difference.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers,
right.
Thank you, Chris. That was really helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's good.
Okay. Oh, Stan came and went. Right. Okay. Right. That's it. I've got to go. And see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Chris.
Cheers.